Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
And in honor of Pride, I would like to dedicate this to my step-grandfather, who is no longer with us. He was an ally through and through. And when he joined our family, he married my grandma when I was around 5. And I remember growing up and he would turn to me and he would be like, you know, you were such an ugly child until I married your grandmother. And he would say that to us all the time. It was his own little way of cracking a joke. Every time he would do it, he would actually go, you know, you were an ugly child until I married your grandmother. Then my genes went into you as soon as I married her. And he was a great dude. He also, when I was in high school, I remember, and he was around like 80 at this point. I was talking to him about my ex-boyfriend, and he was talking shit about my ex-boyfriend because that's what you do when you're a grandfather. And he was like, so anyway, when the next boyfriend you have, wait a second. Are you into other genders, or is it just boys? And I said, no, I'm actually into women too. I'm pansexual. He goes, oh. And my grandma goes, what are you guys talking about over there? And he goes, your granddaughter is bisexual. Pansexual. And I'm like, thanks, Grandpa. Thanks, Herb. You kind of outed me like in 2 seconds. But he was just the most like loving guy. And during my brother's wedding, I did a speech and he came up to me and he was like, you know, you should be a comedian. And then a couple months later, he died. So those were his last words to me. So, if you believe in ghosts, if you don't laugh, you will be haunted. So be careful. Another thing about my grandpa was that he was really the calming force in his marriage to my grandma. For example, my grandma, she didn't really have like the best priorities list. So it was Rosh Hashanah, we're Jewish, but basically she was making 2 briskets, because you always make 2 briskets for Rosh Hashanah. If you don't make 2 briskets for Rosh Hashanah, then why are you doing Rosh Hashanah dinner? And so she was making 2 briskets, and she was taking one out, and she lost her footing because she's like 80 years old, or like 85 years old, and she's making like 10-pound briskets. She loses her footing, and the thing falls and crashes on the ground, and she loses the brisket, and she falls back and hurts herself, and they think that she broke her tailbone. She's okay, but they think that she broke her tailbone. This is the call my uncle gets. Stephen, I fell, I'm going to the hospital. Now I need you to go and call Zabar's, and I need you to call and get them to make a chicken for tomorrow because we lost the brisket, and I'll be dead before I lose another brisket for Rosh Hashanah. And in the background, my grandpa's going, Dean, get in the ambulance! Dean, get in the ambulance! And so they had a very loving relationship. And they really are goals. Another thing about my grandfather is he was a good old boy. And he would never swear in front of us, or he never swore in front of a woman. And one time we were watching the news, and Trump was on TV. And I leave the room, and he turns to my partner, who's male presenting, and goes, That guy is a fucking asshole. This is a man who's never sworn before. When he talked about knowing Donald Trump, he just would go, didn't like the guy. So it was cool to know that what he truly felt for that man. Anyway, thank you. That was my time.